Everyone says Taurus values stability. They don't. Taurus fears change. And everything you think is preference for security is actually terror of the unknown. I've analyzed Taurus placements for 14 years. What I discovered isn't love of comfort. It's paralysis. The Taurus you think is grounded isn't choosing stability. They're frozen by the thought of anything different. Stay until the end. The reason Taurus never moves will break your understanding of this sign. Let's start with what everyone gets wrong. When you meet a Taurus, they seem so solid. They have routines. They stay in the same job for years. They eat at the same restaurants. They keep the same friends. And people admire this. They call it loyalty. They call it knowing what you want. But watch what actually happens. The Taurus doesn't stay because they love where they are. They stay because leaving terrifies them. Every routine is a shield. Every familiar place is a safety blanket. Every unchanged aspect of their life is avoiding the anxiety of something new. Because here's what nobody tells you. Taurus doesn't value stability. Taurus is paralyzed by the possibility of change. And there's a massive difference. Here's the pattern. Something in the Taurus's life needs to change. Could be a relationship that's clearly over. Could be a job that's suffocating them. Could be a living situation that stopped working years ago. Doesn't matter what needs changing. The response is always the same. Resistance. They dig in. They find reasons to stay. They convince themselves it's not that bad. They frame staying as strength and leaving as weakness. And everyone thinks this is just their personality. But it's not personality. It's fear. Because if they change one thing, they might have to change everything. And that thought is so overwhelming they'd rather suffer in the familiar than risk peace in the unknown. Let me tell you about the 3 layers of Taurus paralysis. First layer. The comfort accumulation. This is what everyone sees. The Taurus surrounds themselves with things. Nice furniture, good food, quality possessions. They create a beautiful, comfortable environment. And people think this is because Taurus appreciates quality. But watch closer. Every object is a brick in a wall. Every comfort item is making it harder to leave. The Taurus isn't collecting things because they love them. They're building a prison so expensive and comfortable they'll never want to escape. The accumulation isn't appreciation. It's fortification. Second layer. The resistance narrative. Everyone thinks Taurus is stubborn because they're confident in their opinions. Wrong. Taurus is stubborn because changing their mind means admitting they might have to change their life. Every argument they refuse to concede is practicing staying put. Every opinion they won't budge on is rehearsing resistance. Every time they dig their heels in about something small, they're strengthening the muscle they'll use to resist big necessary changes. The stubbornness isn't strength. It's training for immobility. Third layer. The sunk cost prison. This is the layer almost nobody sees. The longer the Taurus stays somewhere, the harder it becomes to leave. Not because it gets better, but because they've invested so much time that leaving would mean admitting those years were wasted. They stay in dead relationships because they've already given 5 years. They stay in soul-crushing jobs because they've already been there a decade. They stay in cities they hate because they've built a whole life there. The investment becomes the trap. And the Taurus would rather spend another 10 years miserable than admit the last 10 were a mistake. This isn't loyalty. It's being imprisoned by your own history. Let me tell you a real story. I knew a Taurus named Jennifer. Jennifer had been with her partner for 12 years. The relationship had been dead for at least 6. No intimacy, constant low-level resentment, they lived like roommates. Everyone could see it. But when someone suggested she leave, Jennifer would list reasons to stay. The house they owned together. The dog. The shared friends. The fact that he wasn't abusive, just disconnected. She'd say, I've already put 12 years into this, if I leave now it was all for nothing. One day I asked her, if you met him today would you choose him? She paused for a long time. Then she said no. But I can't start over. I'm too tired. I've built too much here. The house, the routines, everything. Leaving would mean rebuilding my entire life. And I don't have the energy. So she stayed. Not because she loved him. Not because the relationship was good. But because the fear of starting over was bigger than the pain of staying stuck. That's when I understood. Taurus's stability isn't strength. It's fear. Masquerading as preference. Real stability is choosing something because it nurtures you. Taurus stays because everything else feels too dangerous. They've confused staying power with being too scared to move. And the tragic thing is, they genuinely believe they're being loyal, grounded, consistent. They don't see the paralysis. They've reframed their terror as a virtue. Here's the psychology behind it. Taurus is an earth sign ruled by Venus, the planet of comfort, beauty, and pleasure. Venus wants things to feel good. But Taurus took this and weaponized it. They created such a comfortable environment that discomfort became intolerable. They surrounded themselves with so much security that uncertainty became their worst enemy. And because Taurus is a fixed sign, they don't just prefer stability, they become rigid. What starts as creating comfort becomes refusing all change. And over time, the comfort zone stops being about joy and starts being about fear. The walls they built to keep danger out also keep growth out. And they can't tell the difference anymore. The tragedy of Taurus is this. They're so afraid of losing what they have that they never discover what they could have. Every opportunity rejected because it requires change. Every relationship that could be better abandoned because fixing it means admitting something's wrong. Every dream deferred because pursuing it means leaving the safety of the known. The Taurus stays in their comfortable prison and watches life happen to other people. They tell themselves they're content. They're stable. They know what they want. But the truth is they're terrified. And they've built a life so heavy with things and routines and investments that moving would require demolishing everything. So they don't move. Ever. And here's the cruelest part. People enable this. They praise Taurus for being reliable, consistent, loyal. They reward the staying. They frame the paralysis as a virtue. So the Taurus never gets the feedback they actually need. Which is, staying isn't always strength. Sometimes staying is cowardice. Sometimes loyalty is just fear of the unknown. Sometimes consistency is stagnation dressed up as a personality trait. But nobody tells them this. Because everyone benefits from Taurus staying put. The partner who doesn't have to worry about them leaving. The boss who knows they'll never quit. The friends who know they'll always be available. Everyone gets comfort from Taurus's fear. So no one challenges it. So what can a Taurus do? First, admit the truth. You're not staying because you love it. You're staying because leaving terrifies you. Name the fear. Second, practice small changes. Rearrange your furniture. Try a new restaurant. Take a different route to work. Your nervous system needs to learn that change doesn't equal catastrophe. Start small. Build tolerance. Third, calculate the real cost. What is staying costing you? Not just what you'd lose by leaving, but what you're losing by staying. Make the invisible visible. Fourth, therapy focused on anxiety and avoidance. Because Taurus's pattern usually comes from early experiences where change meant loss of security. You learn that staying put keeps you safe. But safe isn't the same as alive. And if you love a Taurus, here's what you need to know. Their resistance isn't about you. Their refusal to change isn't because they're satisfied. It's because they're terrified. When they say they're happy with things as they are, what they're really saying is I'm too afraid to imagine anything different. You have a choice. You can accept the stagnation and build your life around their fear. Or you can gently challenge it and say, I know change is scary. But staying in something that's not working is scarier. Growth requires discomfort. And I need a partner who can grow with me, not someone who's planted roots in a place that's slowly dying. The Taurus who truly loves you will be terrified by that ultimatum. But they might finally move. Because sometimes love of another person is the only thing stronger than fear of change. Taurus doesn't value stability. Taurus is imprisoned by fear of the unknown. And once you see that fear, the stubbornness makes perfect sense. It's not strength. It's paralysis. Are you a Taurus? What are you staying in that you know you should leave? Or do you love a Taurus and finally understand why they never move forward? Comment below. Next video we're talking about Aquarius. And the title is, Aquarius isn't unique, they're lonely. The detachment explained. You won't want to miss it. Click right there.